Hello. Oh my goodness. How are you guys doing? So today I'm already tired. This has been just one super ridiculous week. But we're finally back. I have a Cobalt SS. We're going to be doing the back window, the front doors, and the windshield. And if we have time, maybe those rear quarters, just because it's going to bug me if we don't. But there was a whole lot of work to be done on that back window. It was just old tint. It was purpley, and it was probably the most flaky tint that I've ever had to remove in a very long time. So I'm already like super wiped out, but I know it's been a while since we've done any type of a live stream. So we're going to see how this goes. Pull the sweeps. You don't need to pull the sweeps. It's not a good way to start. How you doing? Johnny, Tint Pro, Samuel, Christopher, Lionel, Invasion. Man, I'm just easy money. Everything's easy money to you. Is tinting the windshield easier than the back? Depends on the car. On this one, probably. You've been home counting money? No, I have been throwing money away right now. No.
Daniel Rayner super chatted $9.99. Kumustaman Ataho.
Hang on one second.
Kuyamat. Grandmaster of the West Coast.
Oh my God. Oh, thank you. Daniel Reyna, thank you so much for the 10. I really appreciate that. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Yeah, it's, no, so I have this, you guys can see, I got this boat back here. So that just majorly messed with the schedule this week. I spent about a day-ish trying to tint that thing, and it just wasn't happening. So I fully intended on going live with that, and then it wasn't happening. But it got here. It was supposed to be here in the morning on Monday. Got here in the afternoon. So then I had an afternoon appointment and the boat, and then I had Tuesday half clear to work on that, and then Wednesday was just Lexus day, so I just had stuff going on with that, and then also the boat sitting in the background. And yeah, it was, now we're here on Thursday, and this morning was totally fine. I had just a regular Malibu to do, but I figured I'd stream the Cobalt, and then the Cobalt turned out to be the two-door, which is great. Full removal on the back has just taken up about an hour and a half of time. So we're going to jump into just tinting the rest of it. I still have a little bit of back window removal to touch up. You'll see. It's just nitpicky stuff. They're not fun when they're baked on that bad. That's your old car? I know it. I was actually super happy to see that it was like a silver two-door, but then I looked at the back window and I was like, I was a little undecided. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, and very quickly I found out that it was not the fun type of removal. So, but I would have done either the removal or the tint. So we're gonna do the tint portion of it. Doing a Chrysler 200 convertible. What a huge door window, but easy thanks to you. Oh, glad to hear it. Plotter came in. That was another thing. It finally came in on Monday. Manual? Yes. So is mine. GoPro. Wait. Oh, hang on. Let me push this button and then click that. GoPro. Hey! Okay. So the plotter finally came in. It was in a it was in a... that was just a whole ordeal. It actually showed up. The box was pretty thrashed, but it looks like it's going to be okay. But it came the same day that I had that boat. So I got it sitting over there right now. I haven't had a chance to even take it out of the box. We'll set that up live. But then appointments started scheduling too. So I had this window of time that I was going to do it. And then that window of time just, it's gone now. Now I just have regular stuff to do. So I'm hoping here pretty soon there'll be a window to do it. And then we'll be able to just unbox it and set it up and everything and get it running. Because that's all something I wanted to do live. It's just my schedule has not had any time to go live. So I already have some of this already cleaned off. But we're talking like fine little flaky stuff that just sits up here at the very bottom. So I'm going to jump in there. I'm going to finish scraping the last little bits. I've been on this back window for about an hour and 15. Somebody said leave a steamer on. Yeah, I left the steamer on for at least 25 minutes before I even really started on it. And then the rest of it was steamer and going. So I had a bag on the back locking all that steam in too. So this is a bit of an upgrade from last time. I just decided to get something that I knew wasn't going to die on me. And the cool thing is, with this steamer, I added an extension. So this was the hose from my last steamer. So now I have a super long hose that I just leave it sitting in the corner, and then it goes anywhere on any of the vehicles. So there's no dragging it back and forth. That's really helpful. Don't you have to calibrate the plotter? Probably. There's probably a whole bunch of little things that we have to do. Yeah, the warm-up time on that thing sucks, and I knew that going into it. That's the first steamer that I ever had to deal with. But when it's up and running, it's good. So it's got a warm-up mode and then an on mode, so you can just leave it sitting in standby. We're not going crazy with appointments. So when I know I have a removal, it's fine. I can leave it sitting in the corner. It's actually been pretty nice. I don't think it really outputs much more steam than the other steamer that I was using, but it was like I was looking at two Jiffies. One was like 220 and that one was like 275, and it was kind of all enclosed together. So I was like, I'll just spend a little extra and get it. So there's definitely some cons to it. I'm looking for my knife. I have no idea where my knife went. I knew where it was. I've used it, obviously, for a whole bunch of today, and then literally before I go live, it went missing. I don't know. I'll find it here in a minute. Let's just do some removal first. I have 5 steamers, plus the pod. Nice. The regular ones are faster. The only thing I didn't like about that was the tank that just kind of sits on the back. I didn't want it to fall off. But I didn't know I'd be able to put an extension on it either. So when I got that one here, I just had the extra hose. And I was like, maybe? And then it turned out to be okay. So that was cool. All right. So there's still some flaky stuff up here that I'm going to have to scrape out. Most of what I'm concerned about, though, is down here. This upper defroster area isn't going to be super great anyways. So we're going to do our best to kind of scrape what we can out of it, and then it'll look good enough. If we ever need to Dotrix it in the future, we can do something like that too. So probably the most annoying thing about this whole removal process is just sitting here in areas that are hard to reach and just trying to flake out little stuff you can't really see very well. This is actually one of the easier back windows to do it on because of how open everything is. If you try and do this on something like a Jetta, you just can't get down to the bottom, not without pulling the deck. So that makes it all the more not fun. but it's definitely worth it to finish getting some of this stuff off, because you'll spend all the time to clean the rest of it, tint it, and then you'll have that one patchy flake sitting in the middle of your then otherwise perfect tint job. So that's why I wanted to just do this all off stream, because it's just, oh my god, it's ridiculous. See, I got some right up here, some right there. Let me go grab my scraper. Actually, I had to even use a plastic scraper, which is something I don't normally do. You done Chevy Tahoe? Yeah, once or twice. Don't you have to calibrate the plotter? You have to set up the plotter blade. So yeah, there's like some calibration, like you really just have to fine tune the cutting blade on it. And the rest will take care of itself. But that's annoyingly tedious. What's the easiest vehicle? Probably a Malibu. There's a couple that tie with that, but I had a brand, or it wasn't a brand new Malibu, but it was the latest Malibu. I had that this morning. Oh, I was so happy after just doing a couple different Lexus was not fun. One of them was definitely way easier than the other, but there's just like some dumb pocket windows and some weird stuff on his back window. Like he had a new Lexus and it still made it really annoying and frustrating. I don't know. It just wasn't my day. It hasn't been my week, really. This adds to it. I'm not mad at this guy for bringing it in. It's just kind of funny how it came in on this week. There's just so many little things. I'm just gonna file most of this down. It'll be out of here. This dot matrix is the one that starts okay, and then the higher you go, the more together all these dots are, and it just starts to look terrible anyways. But stuff like this big flaky bit there. But you're literally sitting here for hours trying to get all this stuff off. And then because we just used razor blades across the whole thing, like this defroster was already messed up. There's a broken line there. There was some other broken stuff. So it was just, it's either getting scraped or the whole thing is just, you're not taking it off. You're not taking it off any other way. Not fun at all. So it was already broken, so that was the good news. The silver lining out of that too is removing all the orange off the lines is going to make this actually look better in the end. But hey, it is what it is. Was it easiest vehicle? Oh, I already answered that. Figured a Jeep would be the easiest since the windows are flat and small. It depends with a Jeep. They're actually more annoying than what they'd seem to be. They have a lot of windows isn't necessarily about the curve. It's about the types of seals that they have. And while Jeeps aren't the most annoying seals out there, I've had more problems with Jeeps than I'd like to admit. So that's pretty good. All this, I'm glad we finally got a two-door, because this is one of those back windows that I know gives some people some hassle. But I owned one of these cars, or at least the G5 version with the same back window, so they're really not that bad. They just take some practice. You got the not old school, slightly above that, but older style defroster tabs that we have to cut out. So he's going with limo all the way around, 35 on the windshield. Yep, there's a couple little ones right there. The farther they get into the dots, it's not that big of a deal because they're going to silver out anyways. It's when they sit right before the dots. So they don't blend in. They end up sticking out way worse than you want. It's hard to see this stuff when you're sitting in there too. So you start scraping it out. You have all this stuff that distorts what you're looking at. And then you come out here and you can kind of clearly see what's in your way and what's not. So there's just a couple little areas that I need to scrape a little better. I'll jump back in there, scrape some of it before I put a dryer sheet, because once you do that, you're pretty much not going to see it anymore. And then you'll tint it, and you'll be real sad. So we went through a bunch of razor blades already, and we're going through a bunch more. That one I just used at the bottom of the back window. That one's toast. So just in razor blades, gets expensive. Not expensive, just you just go through a lot. New ring. Yeah, I've had it for a little while now. Okay. But at least the seats kind of push far enough forward, and I get plenty of access to the back window. So it's not the worst. Could definitely be worse. '21 Acura TLX. I don't think I've done a 21, but I have done a couple of the TLX. It wasn't that... No, it was pretty straightforward. Seals similar to like BMW, I think. BMW, not quite as bad as Audi, so they're just a little bit tighter, but yeah, they're pretty straightforward. Nothing that comes to mind. What was the other piece that we had to? Probably towards the bottom. That. Ooh. Oh wait, no, that's just a loose flake. Some of these are hard to tell because they're like little flaked up bits from the bottom that found their way back up onto the window. Uh-oh. Hello, Tint Studio. How can I help you? Yeah, sure. What kind of vehicle? Nissan Versa? Okay. Yeah, so you definitely wouldn't have to decide which shades ahead of time. We could discuss in person. Same thing with the film type, but narrowing it down to ceramic definitely makes things a little bit easier ahead of time. Yeah, so you're looking to do the full thing with the windshield? Okay. Let me check my calendar. I think we'll probably be into next week on that one. Oh, okay. So that'll work out great. Would Tuesday work for you? Yeah, we could accommodate for that. It's and then get you in the morning the next day. That would be okay. We can work that out. So, what day would work best for you? Hello? You still there? Hello? Sorry. I'm trying to schedule something too right in the middle of this. There we go. Hello. Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, okay, yeah, not a problem. So were you thinking drop it off like later Monday to have it done Tuesday morning? Yeah, that would be fine. We can accommodate for that. So we usually close around 5, so drop it off around like 4. Would that be okay? Okay, I'll mark it down then. So I will put you in the book for Wednesday. We do take deposits on all the appointments. So what I'm going to do, this is also a good way just to make sure we got all your information too. So I'm going to text you a link for our booking site. So just set the appointment time for Wednesday at 10 a.m. and then I'll mark it in my notes that you'll be dropping off Tuesday. All right, cool. Did you have any other questions? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not something that we carry. The quality has been iffy. I've heard some shops like it, but there was like particular ones. We've had to install it two, maybe 3 different times, and we had a couple of problems. Like you could clearly see there were some manufacturing issues in the film itself, and then one of the glues for it just didn't hold, so it looked all types of distorted and dirty. Even though everything was thoroughly cleaned beforehand, and the owner had it tinted 3 times in the same films before he ended up coming to us, and we still had the same problem here. And then he got it, I guess, resolved or went with a lighter shade through the same company. But I wouldn't really count on it any more than a year. But yeah, I'd be better. I'd say you're better off with just going with one of the ceramics that we carry versus trying something like that. But if you, I mean, you'd have to order ahead of time and bring it in, and then we could install it that way. But it's not something we carry. 50. No, not at all. 50 I have on my Blazer right now. It's really easy to see out of. It's definitely like a light shade. So once you put it on the windshield, it's like just a real light smoke shade on it. I can show you that in person. 35 is when you start getting darker, a little harder to see out of, but overall it's still a pretty comfortable shade. Anything darker than that starts to get pretty scary. So 50 and 70, you both, either one will be easy to see out of. Okay, yeah, I'll show you on my Blazer when you come to your appointment. Okay, sounds great. Thank you for calling. Bye. Well, that was cool. Sorry, guys. So it is scheduled. Here is the deposit link. He's getting a Nissan Versa all done in ceramic with a windshield. For Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. So that's nice to see. Sorry, I have made a little change here. I'm still getting used to it. I switched phones. So how do I get back? Oh, there it is. No, don't. Nothing like typing out a full message and then switching apps and then it erases everything that you just typed. Okay. Wait. Did you send them schedule link on TintWiz? No, TintWiz doesn't have deposits. As far as like, I haven't heard them add it. So now I'm gonna try a thing. Hey Siri, remind me Tuesday at 3 p.m. that somebody is dropping off their vehicle for the next morning. That is special right there. GoPro. Is this jumpy? Or is it just me? Why did it ding? It didn't tell me why it dinged. Sweet. Hang on, the screen's gonna go black just for a second. I don't know. We'll see. No, everything still seems okay. All right, we still got more work to do. Have we done much? No. Not great. But that was definitely worth it. So, let's continue. Can you use a green fin tool? Yeah, I could use it. Just remind me, or I'll set a reminder. Buffering? Oh, that's probably a YouTube problem now. That's no good. Because I don't think it's me. I'm not showing any drop frames, so it's no good if it's gonna screw me up that way today. Yay! Booked. So Tuesday, I have a drop-off on a Nissan Versa for a full with the windshield for Wednesday morning. So he's going to drop off on Tuesday. What times and days do you usually stream? I try and stream either morning around 10/11 or afternoon like 1 or 2 o'clock. This week has just been way weird. I'm not having a lot of fun this week. Are you gonna stream that one? Yeah, I kind of set it up that way. I gotta make a note of it too, I guess. So I set a reminder for 3 o'clock. I should block that off until probably like 2 p.m. Because full with the windshield and a stream, starting at 10. I mean, it's dropped off, so if we get up, we can actually start earlier on it. So I guess I just have to wake up. That's easier said than done. Just bought some glass aid, excited to use it. Oh, cool. Hope you like it. We're definitely using our fair share of it today. How do you use the glass aid clay? Like, if you've ever used a synthetic clay bar, that's what it is. I'll spray down the back window and then just use it like a scrub pad. So you can also run it under warm water and kind of massage the crap out of it. They'll last for quite a while. We're going to be using one today. for sure on this back window. Just got an email from Tint Depot about renting a plotter and software for $85 a month. Are they renting? I know their software is $85 a month. I don't know if that means that they're renting a plotter. But yeah, that's the one we're going to be opening up and messing around with the, what is it called? The workhorse plotter. I have the 51-inch workhorse plotter. No. There's like a long-legged bug there going into the pillars. Then it'll walk right out into my film right when I'm going to install it. Hoonigan decal. Yeah. Welcome to Michigan. You used to say plotters suck. Plotters do suck. I haven't changed my opinion. The software better put up or shut up. What always let me down is the software. If they have better software, we'll know it'll be very clear. If the pattern doesn't line up, it doesn't line up, and I will not like it. Any experience with Hooper? No, I've heard about them. It's got a similar process to like shrinking crystalline. So with crystalline, you need to shrink it a little bit differently to avoid ghosting. Hooper, you got to do the same thing. Saving the stickers? Yeah, you can go right over them. The other way around it, you can either, glass aid, put it underneath. The other thing I would do is I would score it, and then I'd lift it up and cut it, or I'd put it to another surface. Or you could use a Sharpie and mark it. Is this one fast? Yeah, it's for what it is, yes. It's boosted, he said, and I forgot. I forgot exactly what he said about it. But it's ESS, so it's the turbo, and it's got some upgrades to it, so it's supposed to be pretty fast. This is the guy, not many of you, I don't think are going to remember this. This is the guy that brought the LOL VTEC car. So he sold that one and brought this one in. What are your thoughts on big chain companies and their quality of tint like Z-Bart? Ooh, that's a great question. They're not great. So it still comes down to the individual that's working there. If it's like a dedicated, how do I say this? So it totally depends on, I think, how much effort that they put into the tint side of things. Companies like Cartoons here, we do have Z-Bart, Mickey Shore, big chain audio and car accessory companies, they kind of throw it in as an afterthought where they think that it's not going to be hard to add in a tinting service because they do so many other things. So they're like, what else can we add? Oh, let's just do tinting. So then they think it's as simple as finding another tinter. I had a feeling. See this right here? See that? What is that? Oh, that just might be crud. Oh, I thought that actually might be old strip tint. Well, that's old gross crud from the seals that are falling apart. So we gotta clean that a little bit more thoroughly. This whole thing needs to be cleaned just a little bit more. But companies like Z-Bart, they've generally, the ones in my area, has generally put out really trash work. From most of them, I'm sure there's one or two of them that are okay, but it totally depends on the tinter that they can find. They're just like anybody else. If they can't find a good tinter, then they're not having a good time. And most of them don't pay super well, so they can't hold a good tinter. The guy will work there for a while and then go start his own thing or go to somewhere else. Z-Bar originally did undercoatings. Yeah, and you can't scale tint the same way, so they have a different perspective of that kind of those services. They're like, well, we can hire and we can train people to do this, do that. Window tinting should be the same thing. Well, it's a lot harder to scale that. I'm still surprised. I haven't found my knife. I'm really kind of sad about that. It's sitting around here somewhere. I just don't know where I threw it. Or it fell out with all my other stuff. So I gotta change this blade out anyways. Surprised it's actually working. Might be a dumb question. What might be a dumb question? I missed it. But I heard that part. Alright, let me... I should add an Apple tag to my to my knife. Oh shit! Here's it. I guess I put it there. I knew I had it. It's what I was using for the back window. Empty. I always keep the cases around for no good reason, and then I'm surprised when they're empty. Might be a dumb to the Brad. Oh, I don't know. I don't see what you asked. What percent? We're doing 5. We're doing 5 all the way around and 35 on the windshield. I'm going dark. So we got stuff on the back window. We're setting this up. I have a feeling I shouldn't stream this one. I should just tint it because of how much time everything else is taking. What do you suggest? Different percentages. Somebody can't afford to carry every percent. Can you get half rolls? Like 50-foot rolls? So the main shades that you're going to install in most places are going to be 5, 20, and 35. In a state like Florida, that might be 30, 15, and 5. But those are going to be the main ones. So you want to make sure you carry at least those. And then like 50 is extra. In most of my films, I would suggest 36-inch rolls, and carry 5, 20, 35, like if you're here, 5, 20, 35, and 50 is optional for a windshield. I don't install it as much, but I do install it, so definitely want to have it. And that's about it. That's all I got in my standard. I got 4 shades to choose from in my standard, and then from there, you can add carbon and ceramic, but I'd say start with something decent quality that you can rely on and then add to it as you go. Get half rolls too if you can. That's one way to still carry like a half roll of a quality film versus a full roll of a cheap film. I'd take the quality roll any day. Because then, you know, it'll last for a little while. You'll make up some money and you can immediately start investing in longer rolls and just kind of go from there. As long as you have enough to do a car. Double cutting, does it matter if it's liner to liner? No, you can switch it either way. I like to do it this way just because when I pull the patterns apart, I can just pull one off of this side, take it over to the other side. Some people do it opposite to put a little bit more emphasis on protecting the film. Either way is totally fine. Oh, God. The thought of wiping off the tap edge right before I started cutting popped into my head, and then I heard... But it looks like that went okay. What does it cost to remove old tint? So it depends on how much needs to be removed. Some people just charge hourly. I'll usually just charge a flat rate because I typically know what I'm getting into with the removal. I've been surprised though. The more I stream, the more annoying removals I get. So like this one, like if you're just a regular working for other companies, they would just have their regular clients and then occasionally they would bring in a car. But I think what's happening is people that already have their car tinted are now looking for ways to remove it, and then they come across my channel. And then they book with me. And I'm like, so I've had to basically double the price. So like a full car, no windshield removal is like $250. If this car had more than that back window to remove, I probably would have had to schedule the tint job for another day. It was that tedious. Dude, my hands are so worn out right now from trying to scrape that back window. I'm just so... That was not fun. Saw your black magic video. You mean the Walmart tint? That when I call it Walmart tint, so many people got triggered from it. Oh, it's hilarious. It's just funny. They're like, why do you call it Walmart? Walmart doesn't make it. It's like, yeah, well, calling it Walmart is what got you to click on the video. Nobody knows black magic. It was just really funny. Sweet. Hey, that's cool to hear. Started tinting a year ago. Now I'm my own boss. Dang, that's a huge testimonial right there. How long was it before you started getting pretty competent? I think a lot of people would like to know what that little journey was like. I wasn't my own boss until I don't know, maybe like 11, 12 years into it. I just didn't want to be. I didn't want the shop, but now I have the shop. That's so I can keep doing this. All right, so we're gonna install those doors. Then we're gonna do this back window because that's typically how things go on this channel. This is gonna be the hardest part of this car. So for those of you that are just tuning in, this isn't as hard as like a Corvette or anything like that. But they are bigger than they might seem, and they kind of do this funny curve down in this area, which makes it a little bit more tricky. One way to make these easier is to cut it here, shy of the dots, and then do dot tricks up, so you only have to worry about this much. And then you can make this look a little bit better with something like dot tricks if you wanted to. We're not going to be doing that today, but that is an option. I just pulled out 2 windows yesterday to remove tint. I'm not a professional. If they're the door windows, you definitely wouldn't have to, but hey, if you're more comfortable removing the windows, it's totally fine. So when you get into the back windows, that's the real pain right there. Doors are still time consuming though too. It's when you have a whole package. You spend like 10, 15, 20 minutes per window. That adds up. That's more than a car. So that's why removals, like, yeah, you don't have any money in material, but it's harder labor. I just bought a 300Z, ZX. Oh, Nissan. Old tint is horrendous. 90s purple. Some shops will just tell you to get the glass replaced, but when you get into cars like that, it's like, it's harder to get the glass. Hey man, thanks to the added moderator of the Facebook page. Oh, I appreciate the help. T-Town. T-Town's a mod in the Facebook group now. You are very welcome. I appreciate the help. Yeah, it's I've had it in mind for like a little while. It was really funny to just kind of like surprise people with it. I wasn't completely sure who to pick. But I like people like you, there were things that you were already doing that was very mod-like. It was just like reporting spam and just generally being helpful and stuff. And that's the goal, is not to change the conversation that's already happening. It's just to help it along when people are being extra crude, and then take care of the insane amount of spam that the group was getting. Wow, I'm still short. So there was a post that was asking why there aren't moderators, and I haven't needed it. I haven't needed it because people are generally pretty respectful, and they still are, but now with the excessive amounts of spam, you need like a handful of people that are always floating around that can kind of keep an eye out for it and then take care of it when it's there. Because even at getting reported, I mean, I just have a day like I had 3-4 times this week. And it's just, I'll catch it at the end of the day, remove everything, but it had already done its toll. All right, what do I need? Clay bar, probably a couple of towels, scrub, and should be okay. Where'd you buy the door cover? Carpet shield. I got a small clear bubble at the bottom of my door. It's been almost 2 weeks and it hasn't gone away. I did it myself, so I can't take it back anywhere. Any suggestions? You got to redo it. The only other option is to poke it and push all the air out. The thing is, with window tint, water will dry out, but air bubbles do not go away. And I don't really know why that is, but that's just the way it is. Water can evaporate through, but air will just sit there forever. So, been a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's never going away. You're stuck with it. So the only way is to literally, you could poke it and press the air out of it, but then you have a little pinhole there, or you just redo it. And that could happen, like, you know, with what I'm doing. That could happen with the back window. That could happen with the full windshield. So when you get into those types of mistakes, they are not fun. You mentioned window sizes. I measured my windows. Should I carry a 24? Having 24 in addition is really helpful, 20 or 24. So if they have, like, the way that the shades or the roll sizes go is I'll take a 36 and I can split that in half and I can do the doors on this car. And I can also do the back glass, all out of one roll. I could also take a 20-inch roll and do the roll downs, and then I need a longer roll to cover the back window. So on trucks and SUVs, they're generally, a good number of them are 20, but when you talk about, oh, this was tinted. There's glue here. When you get into taller truck windows, like Silverados, like newer ones, newer Silverados, F-150s, you need a 24-inch roll to cover those. So as far as short rolls go, 24 would be the better bet for covering more things, and it's not that much more to jump into a 24-inch roll. So 36 and 24 is better, but you can see why I might have mentioned just 36 if you only have one choice. But if you're only tinting trucks, then yeah, you could get by on a 20 or a 24-inch roll. But it wouldn't cover this car. Just the doors. No windshield, no back window. Man, these open so wide. So wide. We probably cleaned it pretty good though. Just a little bit more up here. Oh yeah. Hey! Thank you.
Jose78 Rios super chatted $4.99.
Jose.
Welcome back, how you doing?
Thank you for the 5. Oh, I'm hanging in there. It was a week that wasn't supposed to be a week, and then it was. Things are going okay overall. It's just, man, I couldn't catch a break yesterday. And today it's just a removal. Monday it was a boat that wasn't happening. And then there was just it was supposed to be dropped off earlier. So I run off of a pretty set schedule for like the appointments. There's some flexibility in there, but when you set aside, a couple of days to do a boat, and then he gets rid of like 3/4 of the day, it's like, uh-oh. That's no good. But there were other issues that I wasn't tinting that boat anyways, so that guy right over there. So he's supposed to pick it up today. Probably at this point walk in on stream, I don't know. How many do you do in a day? Right now I'm only scheduling a couple, but usually what's happening is like a full car with a full windshield, or it gives the ability to leave time for that, and I start at 10. So from 10 to 1 or like 1:30 is the first appointment. From 1:30 to like 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, like the rest of the day is pretty open. I don't want to be crazy tint every day, but even with that, it's like there's just some things that have been happening that have been like, ay. So I was thinking 60-inch rolls for windshields. You don't need 60s for windshields. Save your money. I mean, 36 is going to cover most windshields. Like the vast majority of windshields are all 36. Watch that Windows 6X. It needed it. This whole car needs it. Windshields, 36 or 40. Most of them, the vast majority of them are all 36. Even on SUVs. The only ones that you're not are going to be like a Caravan or something else. Gonna get detailed. Did somebody say it's gonna get detailed soon? Shit, bro. Bring that to me before it gets detailed. Or no, after it gets detailed. This is the detail. Holy shit. Let me get this pack out of the way. There we go. Are you using your mouth to peel the tint? No, I look at it really aggressively. I'm like, yeah, I do. I know you can't see that part. Oh, shit. Don't tell me we didn't shrink that enough. Avery NR. Avery NR's good. I use that film. It's the other films from Avery that make it a little bit harder. Hello. Here, I got this little guy right here. I should have shrunk it. There's such long doors. I should have shrunk it a little farther forward. I don't know if we'll be able to. We have this fun little walkie-talkie feature now. I might have messed up this window. We'll see. Opinion on Tint Depot? Do you recommend something else? No, Tint Depot is great. The only issue with somewhere like Tint Depot is kind of you're not exactly sure what you're buying, but they're a part of a bigger distributor, and they carry good films. They're just all Tint Depot branded. That's the only catch there. It's like reverse branding. You're buying good films, but you don't know exactly what they are. You can talk to them, and they'll be a little bit more transparent about it. They're just not allowed to list it because there's restrictions. Where did my... Oh, they're both over there. So you see this? This is how flaky that was. Yikes. Not fun. Are you missing a tooth? Oh, all you're missing is tooth cam so you can see when you separate it? I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. Let's see if we saved it. There's like a lot of funny scratches on the outside, but that's okay. As long as it's not the inside. There you go with the Febreze again. How's the baby? The baby's doing good. He is climbing as much as he can. He's getting close to walking. Picks himself up really fast. Climbs up against the couch, like shimmies his way over. He's sleeping much better. Still tossing a lot, but he sleeps through most of the night now. One bottle, typically at like 5 or 6. Sometimes he'll go all night without one. We just took him to his... What one? What appointment was it? His what? Technically 9 months, but he's 10 months now, so. Took him to a 10-month appointment. Whew. So all this down here, that looks good now. Sweet. Let's see on the outside. So whenever you have a finger that pops up in the middle, getting it to lay down, there's just a couple teeny tiny ones. So we can take care of those later. Let them dry a little bit. We'll put some heat. They'll come right out. As long as it didn't suck up a bunch of trash in with it, it's okay. Are all the hoses spraying slip solution? Yeah, they go to that one tank right there. It's just easier to manage this way. Could do one with glass cleaner and extra stuff. Like detailers should do that. They'll have like 3 or 4 different tanks full of, I mean, probably way more than that too, full of like different chemicals and stuff like that. Ah, I didn't learn from the last one. Add some rice to that kid's milk, he'll sleep all night. What do you mean? I mean, we feed him rice. But how do you add rice? You like mash it up and then just like put it in the bottle with the formula? We're big on rice. We like rice. He's half Filipino, so it's right up our alley. Any pre-cut options do you recommend? There's a site that sells geo pre-cuts, Tint Zoom. Tint Depot doesn't have half rolls. They're all out of stock. I mean, I could recommend Geo half rolls. They'll sell that. You can find that Tint Stuff, mytintstuff.com. Some of the films are like, it's Geo though, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive depending on what you pick. But you can definitely get half rolls that way. There's just film shortages everywhere. So some things are like falling out of stock and you have to order like oversized rolls and like unique stuff in the meantime because it just doesn't make sense. Like there's just supply chain issues everywhere in so many things. Definitely not just window tint. So many things are supply chain bound right now. Shout out for rear window DIY, stripping all my windows on the rear thanks to you after a botched SunTech CIR install. Ew, it's no fun. I mean, it's good that you're doing the removal. I hope it wasn't somebody else that messed it up. There, maybe now we won't have that problem. These are just so long. Would you rather do 2 extra long doors or 4 shorter doors? I feel like I prefer the shorter doors just because that's the way it goes. Organic rice cereal from overseas. It's a German brand, 1 scoop for every ounce of milk. Ooh, might have to take a note of that. Wow. We are streaming your stream on our live. That's like streamception. Are you doing like a reacts? Are you just going like, oh, I've been tinting for 30 years. I don't know why he's doing things this way. Oh, I guess that was okay. Oh, but all this other stuff. When I was shrinking my back window, I got a bunch of creases. Is there a way to avoid that? Practice. Watch the videos, study, practice. Your first handful of windows typically are not going to go that well. That's the challenge of tinting. So the more you practice, the better you'll get. See how this? So we scraped out this, but all this crud up here, I need to make sure is out of here. So that's where the longer 9mm knives that we use for all the other cutting come in really handy because I can't get a 1-inch razor blade in here at all. So just shoop. But we're going to clean this a bunch just like we did the other one. This window, I don't know if these have been tinted or not. They have some glue residue on them. So, just going to spend a little bit extra time on here. We heard you were doing a 2-door Cobalt. I had a little practice doing these. Yeah, the fun of this, for those of you that are just watching now, I had to do a very painful removal beforehand. So it was just all types of flaky. Window delaminated, just flaky crap all over it. So the whole thing got scraped. So there's still a little bit up in the dots that I have to try and take care of as best I can. It's just, it's not fun. So this kind of goes with like the rest of the car right now. There's just lots of little things to watch out for. But hopefully we took care of most of it. Adhesive remover. Is that what he said? Adhesive remover? Adhesive remover. Oh, I like that. Most of my windows, 95% free. The last little bits were remnants, so razor and scrub. Yeah, razor blades, scrub pads. Good adhesive remover will take off that last little bit. So something tint specific like ATR is really good. ATR, you can find awesome at the dollar store. If you're just doing it on like one car, you don't need a whole bunch of it. If you, what do you do if the customer removes the tint and you didn't realize it? Should you charge them more? No, you should slap yourself on the wrist for not going out there and looking at the car before you brought in the vehicle. No, it's fine. I've done that plenty of times myself. You give a quick walk around, or you just take a call over the phone, schedule the guy, he comes in, he doesn't realize that you're going to charge him extra hours, just trying to kind of skirt out of that. It's up to you. You already quoted it, but it's very different. There's certain things that push a job so far over. There's certain things that push a job. Oh my God, shut up. It's done that like 5 times. There's certain things that push a job so far over of just like, being nice and trying to take care of something that you have to bring it up, or else you're just shooting yourself in the foot. So the guy comes in and he removed his front doors, and then there's just some like, some strips on the side, general glue here or there. Can you remove it for him and just be nice and just move on with your day? Yeah, sure, that's totally fine. It's up to you, but you absolutely could just take care of that. That's not a big deal. Somebody comes in with a whole back window. It was just like pieces everywhere. That's a lot different. How do you deal with customers that just don't show up? Deposits. Somebody that doesn't want to leave a deposit, they're probably not going to show up anyways. Starting out is where it's really effective. Because in the beginning, you will run across a whole lot of people that are just, tinted in so many different places is really cool now. Because I ran into this firsthand. A lot of the shops that I tinted for didn't take deposits. And they would have occasional no-shows. Some of them were really bad, especially like some of the cheaper neighborhoods. They were generally pretty bad for no-shows. But they would also have a lot of other people follow up with them and just like, oh, I need tint now. So, we'd keep busy days, and the schedules weren't always a flop. But when you're starting out, I never saw any of these businesses when they were brand new, really, especially from running deposits. Deposit customers are just generally a little bit different. They're a little bit more respectful. They're a little bit more patient. So if you're like, hey, I can't get you until next week with a deposit, they're like, yeah, I was just kind of shopping around. Cool. I appreciate it. I'll leave that deposit, and then I'll see you next week. So a lot of people that want it done now aren't really willing to leave deposits anyways. They're just calling around, shopping for cheap prices, and then sooner or later, like, that's kind of what you have to deal with so much that it's just kind of hard to run a consistent business. But the longer you deal with it, the more of a client base that you build, and then it'll kind of sort itself out, but there'll still be that crowd for you. But I started taking deposits shortly after opening up the tint studio, and man, it makes a world of difference. I'm a little apprehensive to take somebody if I can't, if they call me in the morning and I have an opening and they're like, hey, I'd really like to get my car tinted today. Is there any way I could bring it in? I've been burned by those people so many times now that I'm pretty apprehensive of even taking same day appointments, just because scheduling somebody farther out is more somebody that seems to understand what I'm doing here more so than just like, oh, I just need to get my tint. Just need to get it now. So it's been really, really interesting. But I still have slowdowns too. Things are picked back up, but I went through a slowdown here not too long ago. How'd you go about the car having rain guards? Take them out. Most rain guards now are WeatherTechs. So if they're just the in-channel ones, take them out. Otherwise, as long as they don't go down this channel, then you can just tint against them. You'll be okay. Heat up the doors before you roll them up, because it's pushing up against, that plastic up there. So as long as you just take care of that, you'll be all right. How do you know if you need more soap in a bottle? If your tint just freezes to the glass. That's the purpose. That's what you're doing. So I need wheels on this thing. So if you're, the whole idea of putting soap in a bottle is you need your tint to slide. So if it's sticking, then put more soap. There isn't like a magical amount of soap that you can put in your bottle that's going to make your windows any less clear, any more clear. I mean, I guess if it's just 90% soap and 10% water, maybe you'll have some adhesive problems, probably. You know what I mean? If you follow like the general guidelines of like an ounce per gallon, you can put more than that, but you need your tint to slide. Or some people do. Most people do. Most people that watch this channel do. Why do you put tape on the sides? Because these are old, trashy seals that definitely need it. So it's like making a brand new seal. So this is all deteriorated felt. So putting tape on the inside of the seals makes it into a brand new seal. You tint it, then you remove the tape, leave them with his old seal again. But the tint along the edges will be way cleaner. It's something I didn't do for a very, very, very long time that now I'm doing on basically everything, and I'm really happy I'm doing it. But I also schedule extra time so I can do stuff like this. This is something that if I was trying to do this on every car mobile, the sides, okay. All the rest of it, not so much. Not as fun. Super duper swole.
Swalligang super chatted $4.99. I tried tinting outside and it's horrible. Can't even start with wind. Garage jobs only starting now.
Ooh, that's no fun. I started tinting outside. Thank you for the 5. Yeah, tinting outside is just a mess. When you're fighting against the wind, fighting against elements, there's so many things working against you. It's hard enough tinting a car inside with the proper environment, let alone all these things working against you. So, but I know a lot of you guys, when you're starting out, you might not have that option, but some of you need to look a little harder. There usually is that option. You just got to know where to look. Go to companies that already have clients. Try and start there. Rent a storage garage and practice, like something. What time is it? Is it 3:30 or is it 4:30? Are we gonna be like way past hours today again? Ay, ay, ay. Found you through the Black Magic video. I'm glad I did. Glad to hear it. That was a really fun video to make. Glad you liked it. 4:30. 4:30? Oh, what the heck. Missed some tuck tape. Yeah, I saw it. I'll get it, and then I'll forget. It's 4:30? Okay, there's like a whole hour of time. I'm in a different dimension right now. I just lost an entire hour of time. I don't know what I was doing. Recommendation for determining prices on state, what's fair. I can't tell you that. You can shop around in your area and find out. Window tinting, doing mobile window tinting, should I charge extra? Well, it does cost you to go mobile. So I would definitely recommend, I'd recommend working it into your pricing. Because if you have a shop, oh, we have this back window. Maybe, can you oh, wait, here. Hey Siri, remind me in 15 minutes to talk about scheduling convenience fee.
Okay.
That was a bad one. Hey Siri, remind me in 15 minutes to talk about convenience fees.
Done.
Cool. All right, I want to talk about this back window first. So this is not a car that a lot of you guys are going to run into very much anymore, but this is the two-door Cobalt / G5. I think the key's still on, so let me turn that off. This thing is definitely taller, a little bit more rounded, so just kind of follow along with what you see going on. I don't have a ton of time to talk about how we're going to shrink this, but I'm just kind of going to go with it. So this is where a lot of material will bunch up. These windows are a little bit taller. I've already had to do like a removal on this thing. So when you get into taller windows, you'll often see me kind of like pick the edges and pull them a little bit. People will call it pull shrinking. It's what most people refer to it as. But what you're seeing is the film kind of like, look, it's kind of like bunched up here. So if I put heat on these peaks, they're going to start to pinch together and do non-fun stuff. But if you pull it, you're laying that whole area flat, and now you're shrinking evenly across that whole area rather than just on the peaks. I had a guy call me this morning that had a question on a Jag, and it was like an 06 Jag, looked an awful lot like a Crown Vic. That's basically what I told him. Is like it's a hard thing to describe without seeing it, but when you get into these bigger areas, I'm heating down here, but my hand up here is pulling the film. So I'm kind of just adjusting, getting this whole thing. You're just trying to shrink over a very even space. You only have so much surface area to deal with, so just the more even than you can make it, the better. I'll take these all day over that Corvette. Do you always heat on an angle? So most of the time, yeah. Most of the time the heat gun is pointed at a 45, a little bit up, because it's blowing all the heat up this way. So it's not only shrinking the part that's immediately in front of it, but it's also warming up everything past it. Just keeping your heat gun pointed like this is a little bit more direct for when you know you need to heat up a specific spot. But for this pole shrinking business, unless you're using the Fusion heat gun, it's kind of what it's going to look like. The higher you go, the farther out you go, the more material is pulled together, so the more heat that you need. That didn't look super fun, but watch this. Whoa. Whoa. I didn't crease this spot, I just pushed it down a little fast, so it had a lot of air in it. So, because of how much film needs to be pulled off the glass to like loosen up that spot so I don't risk creasing it, you just kind of go back over the exact same area. And then when I get really close to the edges, that's where I'll put my heat gun real close, because I'm just trying to melt it right at the end. You don't have to do that, but it's just like you're at the home stretch, you just like, and then swipe it down. So this all went down fine. Now I'm getting closer to the ends. Switched up hands. More materials all bunching up together. Having more material than this to play with is better. You just start butting into things like the trunk lid. So it can make obstacles that are in your way will make it a little bit more difficult. So, but I've got a handful more inches that I could just have extra material down here. Oh, and one more thing. So I don't do this hardly ever, but if you're ever in a situation where you're having a tough time shrinking a back window or a windshield, or you just kind of screw up the film right towards the end, and all that up there is still good, if you can shrink farther out, you could shift your whole pattern down and save it. I don't do it often, but I have done it in the past. I could probably shrink down basically this entire window. Cool, so that's shrunk. Yay, I need a light so I can cut this out because we did limo. 4:30, we're gonna be done at like 6. Where did the time go? I guess I got a free boat too, so that's nice. I gotta call them tomorrow, I guess, and be like, hey, you didn't pick up your boat. You don't want it, do you? They'll be like, nah, it's fine. You can keep it. Do tint shops replace window trims? I would check with one. Probably not. Probably go to a glass replacement shop, but sometimes you'll find some that do both. Have you tinted a C8? No, I'm a little sad. I've been left out of the C8 club. I don't know why, but I haven't got one. Got very quiet. I'm focusing. How tall are you? Well, we're done talking about tint for today. Did my phone remind me about... What were we supposed to talk about? It was supposed to remind me about something. But it probably hasn't been 15 minutes yet. Yeah, I'll wait for the reminder because I don't remember what it was. But we're going to reshrink the edges. What did I just do? No, how does it? There we go. Convenience fees. Yeah, so when you're doing mobile, you want, I suggest just pricing that all in one. Because when you start adding things, people try and haggle with you, potentially, or it's just a way to make it simpler. So like free shipping, would you rather pay $25 and then $5 for shipping, or would you rather pay $30 and get free shipping? Well, it's the same, but often people will go for free shipping because you don't want to pay for anything like that. You want to pay for what you're getting. So, no, I don't want to pay for your travel fee, but I'll be happy to pay more if I know you're going to do a good job. And it's probably not going to affect everybody that way, but I just factor it into your pricing. It's going to cost you money, so charge them money. All right, let's take a towel. What do we need? We need a scrub pad. We probably need a razor blade. We'll give a little scraping to the top. And that's what I was planning on doing. Well, then did you even need to ask? No, I'm kidding. I was going to do that anyways. Well, shit, man. I feel like everything I said was useless. If you were just going to do it. Green tail fin. You, sir, got in and just... Oh, no, we lost it. We can't... Oh, no, it's over here. Should be on the wall or in the box, but it's not. I was going to do that anyways. All right. So, this is from my Amazon video. I don't carry razor blade scrapers because I don't like them, but I needed one for this one. So, this was actually really helpful for today. Other than that, I still don't need them. I think I remember there was like one for sure somewhere in here. We might have taken care of it. God, it's so hard to tell. Green tail fin. I thought it was a spouting whale. It's whatever you want it to be. And then the rest of it is pretty good, except for just a couple of spots. So, I don't know how Tint does this, But you know how tint doesn't really stick to dots and in between it? Then somebody tell me how old tint finds a way to stick in between every little spot on this back window. There we go. Ugh. Oh, I suppose we should probably throw this up there too. You guys wouldn't have liked to see me earlier. Clay bar. We're just gonna go over everything with a clay bar and then scrub pad. At this point it's not really doing anything. Not much, because we've literally scraped the whole thing. But I don't know, it makes me feel better. Oh yeah, and we should double check the bottom edge of this too, because there's probably a couple little spots. So we got a halfway decent blade in here. On a new car, what do you do to remove the factory oil? There's oil. He said with a confused look on his face. I don't know, I've never done anything specifically to remove oil. You just spray soapy water, scrub them down, sometimes use glass cleaner, and then I tint them. Alcohol, that's right. Oh, we got a reminder. Talk about... That's not helpful. Show me the thing. Whatever. Or you do it again? Talk about convenience fees. What can I help you with? No! Go away! I feel discouraged. I feel discouraged that I tried tinting outside and couldn't do shit with wind. I am a very strong advocate for finding a way to tint indoors. So that is your number one thing. You can figure it out. Just keep looking. When I went to car dealerships or any other mobile thing, it was either I'm tinting indoors or I'm not tinting it. And they would figure something out. So I didn't have a place to tint out of for a very long time. I tinted for other companies. I did mobile services for other companies. Tinted at my dad's company. I've been in a bunch of different places that wasn't my own. So if you have to go that route to get going, then maybe that's just what you have to do. But there's ways. A lot of people, they seem to start and go, I don't have all this stuff that you worked years to get. I'm just going to go tint outside. And it's like, you don't have to. I didn't have all that stuff when I started either. Albeit I had some advantages or else I wouldn't be tinting anyways. My dad owned an auto accessories company. That's how I even started. Or else I wouldn't be tinting. But I also didn't have this lovely YouTube channel when I started either. Oh, shoot. I totally forgot. Hang on. 2 seconds. Wait, no. This is easier to take care of now rather than later. I totally forgot. Should have set a reminder. No! My knife! I'm going to have to use reminders all the time. Remind me in 2 minutes when I have to do this. Call a realtor. They always have a space that nobody wants until somebody wants it. It's worth looking into, for sure. You used to watch your YouTube channel when you first started. But what do you do now? You don't watch it anymore? Sad. All right, there. So on a lot of these, like 2005s through 2010, some earlier, some later, they did that a lot. They'd have these defroster cutouts. I feel now like I need to sweep it again. I probably don't have to, but we just will. For good measure. Just so somebody can yell at me for all the water that I'm using. Stop the water! I'm still watching. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. All right. So what do you think? You think we're going to get this on the first try? I sure hope so, because it's probably 5 o'clock now. This one doesn't really give me much of a good space to... That's why I hated this back window. For that right there, you have to, like, gnaw on the film a little bit to try and get it to peel like that. Because there's no corner. It's all rounded. OMG, you're wasting so much. Yeah, I like that one. We're wasting water. You're wasting valuable drinking water. Not, you're ruining the inside of that car. You're wasting water. It's great. It's an eco problem now. All right. Also, watch out for that. I definitely remember hitting that a couple times when I tried this. Ah! This is like tinting a Grand Prix. Like, it's funny seeing it on camera. All right, this is like the tinter yoga here. Arms straight, and then waddle your way. Use your mouth. Hold the... Hold the film. Try to clap. That right there. That's a great one. All right, now clap. Only pros that have been doing it for 30 plus years can clap while they're doing this back window. All right, so you gotta be real careful about creasing this one when you're laying it in here. But, ow, ow. That was loud. I think we did an okay job. We'll find out here pretty shortly. Ta-da! They give you a lot of space. You know, for as annoying as this back window is, I mean, they couldn't make it much easier for you. You have a bench here. You have the deck lid that doesn't press against it. You have plenty of paneling space. You got room to deal with this. As far as coupes go, this isn't that annoying. But doing that limbo isn't super fun. So if you can do reverse rolls on the back window, that might make it a little bit easier for you. But I do them this way, so whatever. I'm crossing my fingers real hard on making sure that I removed as much tint as I need to. Like all the little flakes, all the little pieces, all the little things. Oh, somebody wanted me to use this. So on this type of window, I wouldn't even use a bulldozer or this. But if you're gonna use this, this is where I use them. So I guess what's nice about this deck lid right here is the way you can kind of sneak the tail fin into the bottom, but you see how that curves? This is really squishy. So it's great at getting out that water. It's not super ergonomic to do, but it is great at getting out water towards the bottom. On a window like this, side swipe is usually what I'll pick. Side swipe, then bulldozer. For tighter spots, third brake lights, I'll pull this guy out. But it's definitely in probably, I don't know, the top 3 of what they call them, reach tools, that's kind of like my go-to back window thing. It solves a lot of problems. Okay. Wow. Let's clean this thing off. This may have been worth it. So the fix for this back window is really going to be Dotrix. But this is kind of like a weird situation today. It's something I try and will do when I have some extra time. Today, I don't really have a lot of extra time. The removal just took so long. So maybe I'll set it up for like a later time, but plus we get the little bits up there. So scrub this thing down. Probably can push it out a little bit better up there. Where's my nip nip? There it is. Oh, this side all looks nice right now until it gets some air. It all looks good until it starts getting air in it. Dude, the Eclipse? Oh, did you get it? I missed that part. I remember. So the nice thing about scraping all the frosters is now the back glass looks nice and dark. I got it? Oh, nice. Very cool. Now you can probably do a lot more different types of back windows. That's super cool. Because when you can do that one, you can do a whole bunch of them. Oh, you bitch. All right, there's some inexcusable piece right here. Not surprising with how much we have to deal with, but this is on the bigger side of inexcusable. So real quick here. This back window is set up really nicely to take this kind of stuff out though, because of the way it's shaped. So as long as we can flick that out of there. Yeah, oh, that feels crunchy. That's good. Probably just scraped over some crap on the defroster. Where's my... Woo! Clean as a whistle. That's way better. I like that. So, this, I had a lot of room here, and the way that it kind of swept down, that makes it way easier to clean up something like that. Just heads up there. Much easier to take out on something like this than something else. See, now that bubble spot, that's all gone. Woo! Looks good. All right, now we got this windshield to do. Holy shit. What time is it? Sorry, we're close. Time to go. Do you need a clay bar? No, you don't need one. They help. They kind of help with that last little bit. I like them more for defrosters, but I've tinted for plenty of years without them. I was just really surprised when I started using a clay bar how much crap they pull off of the defrosters. And they work in the little grooves and stuff. But you don't need them. Camera lens has a halo. I'll get to it. I guess that's kind of important if you guys can't see. We're blind! I gotta put in the headrest. Here, where's the squeaky, squeaky, squeaky? Was that a little better? So, these, I don't unbolt much. These headrests are super easy to unbolt. So I'm gonna put those back in after the fact. I just wanna keep going and get everything tinted. And then I'll worry about this after. What was that squeak? Should I get C2 carbon to start? I wouldn't. It's a great film, and I like installing it a lot. It just costs more. So when you guys are starting with films that are more expensive to even play around with, you're just tossing money into a fire. So while I would recommend installing that on customer vehicles and stuff, and like if you charge enough to kind of use a customer vehicle as a training thing, then yeah, but you're gonna spend a lot of money on practice. Windows looking good, thank you. We did 3 windows. All right, so this is 35 going on the windshield. This is gonna make it even faster. Just like that Hoonigan sticker. Put that on a windshield, plus 10 horsepower. 20 if it's a bigger sticker like it is. Small ones, 5, 10, big ones, even more. What? Can you use a can you use a credit card instead of a squeegee? Sure you can. Nobody's stopping you. Do you ever tint sunroofs? Occasionally. Not very often. So when I say like full cars with windshield, it often like this. It doesn't include the sunroof. God, he's got sunroof on this too. Jealous. I didn't have a sunroof on mine. Put one of the vinyl stickers that make it look like you have a sunroof. He's got the SS side skirts on it and that little front end. I was like, oh, dang, I want that. 30 horsepower. Does ceramic help keep the heat in the vehicle during the wintertime? You know, I had that question when I was first messing around with that. I was like, is it like insulation? No, it's not gonna keep the heat inside. What it is gonna do is just kind of absorb more of the heat. So with carbon and ceramic tint, what they're doing is they're absorbing it kind of like a sponge, and then it radiates off the glass. So if your car's just sitting there, your car can still get hot. But it is keeping that IR off of your interior, keeping the UV, keeping the IR, but your car sitting there will be hot. It really, what it does is make it way more comfortable to drive. So I took a little family trip down to Texas, and I had a vehicle without tint on the front doors and the windshield, and it got really annoying. I haven't been without ceramic for quite a while, so you know what it's like without it, but you never really remember what it's like until you're sitting in traffic for an hour with no tint on the sides. So I had the air conditioning blasting, and like one side of my body is cold and the other side of my body is just hot. So ceramic helps keep all that heat off of your skin. So even with air conditioning, man, it makes a huge difference. I did this Lexus the other day. It was the older Lexus that you guys saw on stream. We added a windshield to it. We did all the sides and the back. He came back and got the full windshield done. It's really cool to see. People that often just get the sides in ceramic, sides and the back, they'll often come back and get a windshield because it just makes that much of a difference. You don't really feel it until you have it. So this windshield, way more easy. Way more easy to shrink. This is like super flat compared to the front. But still, if it looks like it's bunching out, we'll shrink. Just boom. Done. Keep going. Sweet. Yeah, at this point, we're just getting stuff done. 505. Do you own my tint stuff? No. Well, I do until you buy it, and then it's your tint stuff. My tint stuff becomes your tint stuff. Yeah, it's my site. Did all the Detroit Tint Studio stuff give it away? Okay, so on this sticker, it's already kind of mangled, but we don't want to mangle it anymore, so windshield more flat than the back window? Yeah, on this car, any easiness that you had with the front, they made up for it on the back window. It's evenly balanced, as all things should be. Changed your watch band? I changed my whole phone. We were on the Note. I'm on Apple now. We switched back. Keeps cabin temps lower, which saves emission. Yeah. So look at that. We're carbon neutral, right? Except all the sheer amount of plastic waste that we have. Switch to Apple, spell out. There's not a huge difference from one to the other. I switched the S8 when that was a big difference. iPhones were a little bit bigger. There were so many things that they were lacking. They didn't have a dark mode. You couldn't rearrange the icons. There were like Wi-Fi sharing and like all this other stuff. They were just missing. They've added some of that stuff. But some little things like AirDrop, that's actually been, like, within the first day, that's been really nice for me and my wife. AirDrop is, like, super great. I'm playing around with, like, reminders and some other stuff, seeing if there's any other features. But, you know, if you're just using it for you, it's a toss-up, one or the other. But in like the family thing, it seems like Apple Apple wins a little bit on that. Airdropping what with you? Thousands of baby pictures. It was so annoying. We'd send them over Messenger or something like that, and then they'd compress the hell out of them. It's really annoying when one person is on like Android and the other one is on iOS. And it's none of your business. All right, let's get the horrible towel. Half the time I won't let you send more than 10. Yeah. Yeah, there's always like space limits and stuff. So non-expandable storage is really annoying. But you know, now I have iMovie, so finding a halfway decent editing app on an Android phone was kind of annoying. iMovie and LumaFusion. LumaFusion is actually really good. You can't get that on Android. The 13 Pro Max, yeah. I'm not a big phone person, but then I got the Note, which is like the biggest phone. So I've just been getting the bigger versions of everything. But there hasn't been anything other than like the family stuff right now that has swayed me over Android. So they're both good. It's been long enough. But it's kind of like all of them as a whole. All right, this will come out. I'm trying to figure out whether I should, with GameStop register or, wait, does this not plug? It has to. Let me take the little tree off here. It needs to be on the other side of this. I can't see. No, this has to come out. Oh, let me unscrew that first. What did you do? I've just stayed with my broker. I don't know. Computer Share is smart. I'm just not familiar with their platform, and I got too many other things to even really look at it. Oh, there we go. That's it. Woo! There we go. That's better. So I think it's smart to do. You have ownership over it. I just don't know about the platform. So it's just there's been a lot of scary stuff happening. This is not financial advice. All right. So because of there's some little bit of stuff. All right, we're gonna scrape it. Yay, more scraping! My wrists are having so much fun today. As a mobile tinter, should you carry that box with the different films and the IR light to show customers, or is it not necessary? Oh, it's very necessary. Here's the thing. You can either do tint jobs at one price, or you can do tint jobs at multiple prices, and that's what the heat box helps you do. So you can just sell it over the phone, but there's people that will be set on one thing until they see that box. That is like the clearest demo. And what I'll typically tell people is I don't pressure them into any particular film ahead of time. I don't care. I'm tinting their car, whatever works best for them. That's what we're gonna figure out. But I make them aware that I do have other options, so then when they show up, and it's like they had time to think about what they want to get on their car, right? So it turns into a little bit of I don't know if you want to call it an event, but it's kind of what it is. They're planning ahead, they're coming to you, they're obviously spending some money with you, and they're probably a little excited about getting their car done. So they're going to start looking into it a little bit more. So at that point, they've had some time to kind of let it sit. And then when you show them in person, they may or may not go with something. I've had budget people that are pretty fixed on just staying with the entry, and that's perfectly acceptable. I've been installing it for years. It's great stuff. You're not a shill. No. No, I've just been pretty quiet about GME. It's doing a lot of the same thing every day, so it's the same story. Bought, held, still holding. What do you think about Tint Wiz at $100? They've got, and they haven't been shy about this, they have a 30-day free trial, and they have a way to keep hitting the 30-free-day trial button if you think it's expensive. Yeah, it's a little pricey, but the way to look at some of these softwares is, what does it do for you that nothing else could? So if it's not worth $100 to you, then don't pay it. If, like with the plotter software is going to be like, I don't know, I think it's like 85 right now. But there's a lot of them that are like 120, 150. It's super common to see plotter software at 150. But that pretty much starts to pay for itself within the first couple of cars. So they could charge even more than that if they really wanted to. Competition wasn't as strong. So yeah, there's other CRM apps, and I haven't done a whole lot of due diligence in like looking into them very hard. So I don't know. I know there's people that use other things, but those types of softwares can get real expensive really quick. Business everything is expensive. So I'm hoping they add deposits. Once they add deposits, I'll be using them a ton more than I am now. Do you have a cutter? I do. It's sitting in a box because I haven't had a chance to unbox it yet. Because I do things live and I haven't had time. I have like regular work to do. Blech. Customers are keeping me from playing around with other tech. I think I got a spot, what, Friday? Is that tomorrow? I actually might have an opportunity to do it tomorrow. But no guarantees. Is there no steering wheel? No, you don't need one on this car. This car drives itself. Do you take pictures before and after to protect yourself? No, I take before and after pictures because thumbnails, man. Sometimes I do. A really smart thing is to get yourself a dedicated camera. Do a quick walk around with a camera every time you go out to the car. Every time you go out to a new car, just turn on the camera, walk around it, point at little things that you might notice. Might take you a minute, but it'll save you a lot of money. Do I do that? I should. Chicago Auto Pros, I learned that little tip from them. They do it with GoPros on every car. Just standard practice in pulling in a car. Really, really smart. Cover your own ass. All right, we're getting close to installing this. What about my iPhone 12 Pro Max? Is that sufficient enough? For what? For like Tint Wiz? You can run Tint Wiz off of a lot. You can just log in on a computer. It's a very lightweight phone. Oh, camera. Sorry, we're talking about cameras. Oh yeah. Dude, you got an awesome camera on that phone. You need something. You need something to kind of document what's going on. So lighting will help a ton. So do it when it's outside, because you have the best lighting when you're outside. Cloudy day will help. But go outside, walk around, shoot a quick video of the car, and then like you'll get good vibes. You get like pretty strong vibes from the customer themselves before you even take it in, but it's just a way to be sure. Currently detailing a 750i. Yeah, that's an expensive one. Most people and most of your clients are generally going to be fine, but all it takes is one, and then it's no fun anymore. Oh, this is such a flat windshield. I like it. I don't know why I did that side first. I usually do this side first, but whatever, same thing. It's like doing a big quarter window. I don't think I've ever seen a roll go this nice. I had a woman tell me a dent in the back of her car. She came back 2 hours later claiming, so I had to show her after pictures when she picked it up. Nice, very nice. See, that's what it's for. It's just the occasional person that either is out to get you or genuinely doesn't realize. Ugh. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Oh, dang, what was that? It sounded really helpful. Oh, dang. I'm going with tight roll next time. That's way easier. Tight roll, way easier to place. Just doesn't usually turn out that way. Oops. Urable? What was that? Sorry. Ah, there's limo in the way. For those detailing, they have templates. What software? Urable? Urable? That's cool. That sounds super helpful. Yeah. There's systems, man. They exist. That's super cool. It's something I hadn't heard of, so thank you for the tip on that one. I'll try and remember it. How much should it cost to rent a bay? Should be free, but life doesn't work that way. I don't know. Area, location. Location is everything. So you can sometimes find the right person that just like, yeah, I just don't use the space, and then he won't charge you very much per month. You can be in New York and then space is really expensive. I have no idea. Go on like a commercial real estate app. You can kind of find out for yourself. Good thing it's recorded so you can go back on it. That is true. The part that I always fall short on is I forget where it is in the video. I haven't done a very good job of clipping. I've been so busy. Alright, so that corner, stupid rope. It's making it a pain. Everything else went really nice on it. So, see this right here? See where that rope is pinching? I just need to push it out of the way, get that film to lay down before I pull it out, and then we should be okay. See, just get it out of the way. There we go, much better. You can be really careless and crease that super fast, and I wouldn't be surprised if I did it now, but trying not to. Where's my... Aha! There we go. That's what you want to see. Got it. We got it down. I love soak shields. This towel is pretty good too. Until it falls apart. Which it's definitely doing. Wow, that didn't work at all. I'm just trying to like lightly prop this up on here. But those corners, you see how this panel pushes right against where you need to be? You gotta kind of like shove it out of the way. But all that rope bunched up there doesn't make it easy to do that. So I'm guessing they're not picking up a boat today. I'm in New York. Lucky if you find something for a grand average in my area, typically $2,500 to $3,500. That's what I'm paying for this space. $24 plus utilities. Which is a lot. A lot more than... No, it's not. It's not for the space. It's not a lot for the space. It's a lot of space to have for that price. It's been a day. It's been a long day. Mostly because of that removal. My arms hurt. Alright, so let's spray this down, squeegee it off, close up the doors, and then check it out. Check out the Hoonigan. Still got some little stuff, like put away the mirror and whatnot, but as far as the tint job goes, we're pretty much all set here. What's that? It's trying to tell me all sorts of little things throughout the day. Did you know? Did you know you could do this? And I'm sure they're all helpful. Just don't have time to look at them. I'm streaming. Dang it, phone. Should know. Hello from Chile. Oh, that's far. Welcome. Oh, that turned out really nice. Yay. That's good. Because on top of all the back window things, the last thing we needed was to have to redo an entire windshield. So let's give this a good wipe down. You didn't notice anything though. I should use a different towel for this then. This one. Mirror, plug. Where are you? There you are. This guy right here. Woo! It works. How about that? Put that. Tighten up this little screw. Put on the little tree. Oh. Probably go this way. Boom. We can't drive it. No steering wheel. No, like the last car, he pulled it off. Just because that's what they do. They can pull them off. So it's one little extra thing to get out of the way. Sure, why not? Dang! Turned out pretty good. Oh, we got this stuff. Whee! Sweet. I'm gonna put back the little extra stuff. I'm gonna hop off stream first though, because I am just so pooped. So I have like a little thing on the back window I'm gonna touch up while I'm putting that back. Just a couple little small things, but we are basically all set on this one. Look at that. Very dark. Looks really, really good. Very happy with how this turned out. Man, that back window was such a piece to remove. Whew. Good stuff. Alrighty. Is this the same guy with the Honda? It is. With the Lal VTEC. Canon. Oh, it's 5:30. Yeah, I have other stuff I have to do. So I'm gonna get this all wrapped up real quick. Let me shout out some super chats. We had a couple of them today. How long would it take you to finish a job like this if you weren't on stream? Most of it, how long have we been streaming for? Two and a half hours. It'd probably shave off like 45 minutes. There's just all the there's the setup, there's the talking, there's taking more time to show stuff, and then it's a little harder to move around with the headset. But I'd be able to finish, just from where we started, it'd be all set within an hour and a half. Where are we? Hour and a half, 2 hours at the most. So that one, this one. All right. So, big shout outs to Swole Gang, Jose, and Daniel. I much appreciate the support. Thank you. Sorry I haven't been streaming so much. It's just been a really rough week. Like I've said, a lot of things went weird. So I intend on doing something tomorrow. I know I have a morning appointment. I have something for Saturday. But I want to stream this plotter too, so I want to get that set up. So keep a lookout for that. We'll be going over a lot more plotter stuff, how they're helpful, how they suck, and just general questions about them. Do you have a video on your live stream set up? No, not really. Not everything. I'm more than happy to answer some of that when I'm live, though. I've talked about the GoPro setup before, but never with this stuff in particular. There's just a lot to go over. Maybe we'll do one in the future, though, but I can talk about it live. I usually do. All right. So I gotta get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We'll be back soon with another live stream. Thank you again, and I will catch you later. Wow, I said the same thing twice. All right, bye.